Wholesaling real estate is a very simple process. All you need is a motivated seller that needs to sell at a discount, a AB agreement, a BC agreement, a cash buyer, and a real estate attorney / title company that will get your deal closed. Let's go more in details of what I'm talking about. Now, to simplify the wholesaling process even further, the very first thing that you must do is find a motivated seller. You have multiple different ways that you can find a motivated seller, which I will go over later on in the video. But once you find that motivated seller, you must gather all the necessary information in order to make an accurate cash offer. So you will need to gather information on the property condition. You need to gather information on the mortgage, what's owed on the property, because if the seller owes too much and your offer is lower, guess what? Your seller is going to have to bring money to the table. So once you gather all the information so that you can make an educated offer to the seller, if the seller accepts the offer, then it'll be time to get the AB agreement signed by the seller. Remember, as wholesalers, we're trying to buy properties at a discount. So whatever price you agree to on the AB agreement, it has to be lower than what the price is on the BC agreement, which we'll get into that in a few seconds. But once you do have the AB agreement signed and fill out completely between you and the seller, then it's time to get that AB agreement over to your title company or real estate attorney. Now, when it comes down to a real estate attorney or a title company, it really just depends on your state. Here in North Carolina, we are a attorney state, so we have to use a real estate attorney to close our wholesale transactions. Now, you have other places such as Texas that you don't need a real estate attorney. You can use a title company, but I believe you still have the option to use a real estate attorney in those states as well too. What the real estate attorney is going to do is they're going to verify that there's no taxes owed on the property, or there's no mortgage, or there's no liens, or anything that could potentially be threatening the equity in the property. They're going to verify those things before the property is sold to your end buyer, so that your end buyer won't be responsible for any of the seller's debt. So that's very important, to make sure that you use a real estate attorney or title company so they can perform the title search. And while the real estate attorney or your title company is in the process of making sure that the title is clear, you need to be out searching for cash buyers. Once you do have a buyer that has the highest offer, then it'll be time for you to get your earnest money deposit from that buyer, which that will be held at the title company or real estate attorney office. And from there, after the title work comes back clear, then whatever day that you have the closing date set, the cash buyer will come in and bring the rest of the funds. So if you have the AB agreement for $50,000 and you sell it to your end buyer for $60,000, they will bring that $2,500 to the table, and then they will bring the difference to the table at closing. And congratulations, you will have your first deal. So that is pretty much the wholesale process in a nutshell. So now what I want to do is I want to give you an example of, if the seller says yes, how you will make an offer using the 70% rule. Let's get into the example. So let's say that you have a property with an ARV, which is the after repair value, of $250,000. What you would do, you will multiply that by 70%, and that would give you a total of $175,000. Now, let's say that when you spoke with the seller says that the property needs new flooring, the property needs a fresh paint job on the inside, the carpet needs to be replaced. And you identify that, okay, this is a medium rehab and it needs $30,000 in repairs. So what you would do, you would subtract that $30,000 from the $175,000, and you will be able to sell that particular property to your cash buyer at $145,000. But of course, that's not the offer that you're going to come to the seller with. You're going to subtract your assignment fee, which will make your max allowable offer be $135,000. So since you know that your max allowable offer is $135,000, guess what? You still don't want to start at that number. You want to subtract at least 10 to 15%, just in case you have to negotiate, which 9 times out of 10 you will. You would negotiate a 10% starting offer price, which will give you $121,500 starting offer. So you will start at 121,000. If you have to, you can negotiate your way back up to $135,000 as a max allowable offer, and you will sell the property to your end buyer at 145. So that would actually give you your $10,000 assignment fee. So that's how you would use the 70% rule to come up with your offer, and that's what you would have on your AB agreement. Now, if you're enjoying the video so far and you would like to see more content like this, please just hit the like button, subscribe, and click the notification bell. So whenever I do post more videos like this, you will be notified so I can help you throughout your wholesale journey. Let's get back into the video. All right, so now that you have a solid understanding for the wholesale process, the next crucial part of the process is identifying the market that you're going to wholesale in. Now, what I'm going to say is you have two options. You can either wholesale locally or you can wholesale virtually. If you're in the market such as Charlotte, then I would recommend wholesaling in your backyard, but also have a secondary market with a population of 100 to 300,000 that may be close by your market, or it may not be close by. As long as you see flippers in that particular area, then you know that can be a market that you would actually go in. Now, if you are in a small town such as Florence, South Carolina, just a small area that may have 3,000 population or 4,000 population, then you know, okay, this is not an ideal area for me to have a wholesale business in. Let me go to another state or another city that has a decent population that I could potentially wholesale in. So you can be in Florence, South Carolina, and wholesaling in Atlanta, Georgia. Those are just the different options that you have. And if you really want to be strategic about it, you can go to georgiademographics.com and see the population by city. And you can say, okay, my market that I want to go in is going to be a medium-sized market because I'm pretty sure it's not going to be as competitive as a large-sized market. So I'm going to choose Macon, Georgia. I'm going to choose some small markets outside of Atlanta that people from Atlanta may want to travel to in order to flip properties. That's how you go about picking your market. Don't let it be any type of emotional attachment. Let it be all database. Now, once you have identified your market, it's time to find motivated sellers. You have multiple different ways you can get this done. You can build a motivated sellers list, and you can do that by using a software such as PropStream, which I use that on a daily. It's only $99 per month. It's $97 per month if you use my link below. And you'll have access to skip tracing. You'll be able to find your cash buyers. You'll be able to run comps, and you can pull like a list of real estate agents that could potentially have cash buyers for you as well too. It's just so many different options that you can use within PropStream, and that's why it will be a good choice if you're looking to get started and you would like to have 10,000 records every single month for $97. You can even go up to your local courthouse and pull a divorce list. You can pull eviction lists. You can pull pre-foreclosures. It's so many different lists that you can pull at your local courthouse, and the best part about it is it will be the freshest data that you can actually find in your market, because guess what? You're getting it directly from the source. Now, I'm not knocking PropStream, but some of the data in PropStream could be a little bit outdated, but you're able to get your hands on records in a matter of minutes. But with the courthouse, it is going to take a little bit more time because you're going to have to sit down, take pictures, add the properties to an Excel spreadsheet, and it's just going to take a little bit more work, but guess what? You are doing it for free. Now, once you choose one of the options such as PropStream, Driving for Dollars, or Courthouse Leads, you have to skip trace your data. That's going to get you in contact with your sellers the quickest because you will have phone numbers in minutes. And the skip tracing service that I would recommend using, I will use batch skip tracing first, and it is going to be 15 cents per record for the first 10,000 records. And then from there, it will decrease. And if you don't get phone numbers for certain records, then I would recommend using PropStream as a secondary option. Or you can switch out PropStream and use Skip Genie for a secondary option. Now, if you don't have any funds for skip tracing because it can be expensive, you can also go the free route and use freepeoplesearch.com. Now, only thing with freepeoplesearch.com is that those may not be the most updated numbers, so you may be calling a lot of wrong numbers. But if you don't have any money, that's the best way to go about it. Now, once you skip trace and you have your phone numbers for the list that you built, it's time to market to your data. And the best thing to do is have an omni-channel marketing present. And guess what? You can do that at a low cost. You can cold call, you can send SMS, you can send ringless voicemails, you can door knock, which is free. You don't even need phone numbers for that. You can send PPC, you can send Facebook ads. Now, once you start talking about online marketing, of course, it's going to get more expensive. But those are just some of the marketing channels that you can use. The marketing channels that I would actually recommend is SMS, ringless voicemails, and cold calling. Just make sure that it's actually legal in your area so that you won't run into any legal issues. But those are my top marketing channels because it's low cost and you can generate leads from using those marketing channels. Now, let's get back into the marketing aspect. Once you start marketing to your sellers, you are going to generate leads, especially if you pull the right list. You're going to get responses from sellers such as, I'm not interested, the property is sold, you have the wrong number, don't ever contact me again, how did you get this number, what's your offer? Those are the responses that you're going to get from your sellers. The main responses that you really want is, what's your offer? Or maybe I'll sell at a later date. If you get a seller that says, maybe I'll sell at a later date or not at this time, of course, you need to make sure you have in your calendar that you're going to follow up with that seller because maybe they want to sell 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days down the line, and you want to make sure that you stay in front of them. But the sellers that say, I'm not interested, wrong phone number, don't ever contact me again, those are very important too because you don't want to keep wasting money on those type of sellers. You want to tag them as not interested, wrong phone numbers, don't ever call me again, and maybe you will follow up with the not interested since 6 months. But the seller that actually says, yes, I want to sell, I'm going to make them an offer like how I stated earlier in the video. Now, whenever you make the offer, either they're going to accept the offer or they're not. If they're not, then guess what? Those type of sellers still go into your Podio system because you actually made an offer on the property, but they just didn't accept your offer. So maybe you would just want to check back with them in a few days to see if you can get them to the closing table. Now, if they do accept your offer, the next step, like I stated earlier, you're going to find a real estate attorney that actually close wholesale deals, or a title company that close and understand wholesale deals. So what they're going to do, they're going to ask for your AB agreement, you're going to send it over, and they're going to start the title search. Of course, you have to put down an earnest money deposit, even if it's just $1 or $10, because it's going to make the contract valid. And then from that point, they're going to start the escrow process. And from there, that's when it's time for you to find your cash buyers. And the way that you will actually find your cash buyers, you can use software such as PropStream. You can go up to your local courthouse. You can even drive for dollars and look at properties that's being renovated. And guess what? You may run into your cash buyer out there on site that is actually flipping a property right in front of you. And you will actually know that they're currently in the market buying. So those are just some options that you have whenever you're trying to find a cash buyer. So what you do, you'll get about 3 or 4 or 5 cash buyers. You will set an open house at that particular property that you have under contract, and you will get all your buyers in at once. And you let them go in and inspect the property and see exactly what needs to be repaired. And the buyer that comes back with the highest offer, you send them over the BC agreement. So once they actually sign that BC agreement, you send that over to the title company and you get an earnest money deposit from that particular buyer of about $2,500 to $5,000, whatever you agree to. And you give them until the next day around that time to get that money in. If not, then the contract is not valid. But if they do get the earnest money deposit in, then you wait until the title work comes back clear, and then you set the closing date for that particular property. Once the closing date is set, the difference that is left for the cash buyer to bring in, they're going to bring it in during the closing date. And guess what? If your assignment fee is $10,000 or $15,000, that same day you're going to walk away with a check or a wire for that amount. And congratulations, you have done your first deal. Now, if you want to see a video on how I wholesale my first virtual deal, feel free to check this video out here, and I'll see you next time.